Players are starting to panic. In today's video, we're going to discuss a couple of cards that seem to be spiking in value, but we also have to discuss Lord of the Rings, which really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. There always seems to be a little bit of panic from the player base whenever some new card or some new discovery of a card that may work with another card, but you're not sure because you haven't played it. Wait a second. We're too far into the video. Hold on. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel today. Now, we are here to discuss a whole bunch of Magic cards that have been selling, some great combination cards that people are finding out about, and kind of some, I want to say buyout, but we have to wait till the weekend reserve list top 10 to see how that plays out. But there's other cards we're going to discuss today, and by the end of this video, we'll have to hit up Lord of the Rings because there's some interesting things going on. So first, let's start with this card. Let's stop wasting time. Let's get into what's going on. Here we have Forsaken Waste. Now, this is from Mirage, okay? Which means it has around a 280 million card print run. It's one of the larger sets that was printed back in the day. But compared to nowadays, of course, it's a minuscule amount. But when you look at a closer look at the card, take a look at this. It says Forsaken Wastes is 1 black, 2 generic. It says Enchant World. Players cannot gain life. During each player's upkeep, that player loses 1 life. If Forsaken Waste is the target of a successfully cast spell, that spell's caster loses 5 life. Okay, so you gotta pay to get rid of it. It's never been a big card. It had a few spikes. It hit like the $15 mark way back in 2021 to the 2022 buyouts. There was no way it was going to hold value. But then something crazy happened. Hold on, let me give you my visual, my face. Something crazy happened. Somebody said, hey, there's some new cards from Duskmourn that really fit with this card, and maybe this is the perfect card to buy now. So now we can go back. So we had this one. Now we take a look. Here we have Valagov, and this is the Harrower of Souls. This thing is a 1 red, 1 black, 2 generic. This is from the Commander deck, right? It's a 4/4 legendary creature, Elder Demon. He's the guy who like rules that plane, you know. Duskmourn, he takes over. Now, this thing has flying. It also has ward, pay 2 life. But here's where things get interesting. Whenever an opponent loses life for the first time during each of their turns, see, opponent loses life each of their turns, put a +1/+1 counter on the Harrower of Souls and draw a card. So obviously this isn't going to be, you know, something in Modern. It's not going to be in Pioneer. It's not Standard. Oh, that's right. It's the biggest one. That's right, guys. We're talking about Commander here. So Forsaken Waste went through like a massive amount of sales in the last like 10 hours. I won't know the full count until I've done some emailing. It'll probably be in my top 10 for sure this weekend on the reserve list top 10. But you see, this card triggers a lot of crazy stuff, right? Every turn, everyone's losing life. They can't gain life. Harrower is going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to continue to draw cards. There's a lot of advantage for less than 5 mana spent. 4 for the Harrower, and of course 3 for Forsaken Waste. Not bad. Now, there's other connection cards that work with this. I got to point this out, because here is Underworld Dreams. I'm showing the original from Legends because it's my favorite artwork, but this card's like 25 cents. It's not an expensive card. It's been reprinted lots of times. It's basically an uncommon now. But for 3 black, Underworld Dreams does 1 damage to opponent for each card he or she draws. Okay, so, you know, every opponent, whenever they draw a card, they take a damage, which again will trigger the Harrower of Souls. So it's going to be kind of a thing where people are going to put a lot of these types of cards in. They're going to try to make this deck go off massively, and it has spiked a lot of interest. Now, interest doesn't always equal out to like tons of sales, but at the same time, it is something to mention because when FOMO grips somebody and the panic sets in that you're missing out, this card went from like having 1 or 2 sales a week to now, you know, I think last time I looked, it was at 150. It's gone really kind of high up there right now because speculators start talking to each other, and then players hear about it and they start freaking out. And then before you know it, that FOMO kind of domino effect just rolls down, okay? And people get really bullish that this card is going to be the card. But let's not forget, Mirage had a 280 million card print run. This card's never been actively used. It's going to be around. It's not going anywhere. There's a huge supply. It would take years of constant buying and refilling to really make a dent in this overall market because it's not one of the cards that's been bought out before. So players can kind of cool their jets for a minute and just recognize nothing bad is going to happen here. Nothing bad. But the next card, it's a little bit different. Take a look at this, guys. Here we have Timeless Lotus. Anyone who has been on my channel knows how I feel about the card. But I have to bring it up. It doesn't matter. It's news. It's noteworthy. We got to talk about it. So, Timeless Lotus, of course, it enters the battlefield tapped, but it can tap for one of each color mana. So it's not a Lotus. It's something else. It's some mutation of a Lotus. Because it's not, Lotus only taps for like the 3 of one color. I don't care. Here we go though. Because I just said mutation, and here we have Leyline of mutation. You see that segue? You guys get it. Now this thing says for 2 green and 2 generic, and again, this is from Duskmourn. It's an enchantment that says, if Leyline of mutation is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. That's fine. It's a Leyline. We get it. But you can pay one of each color rather than pay the mana cost for the spells you cast. So you can have the most ridiculously overpowered spells built into your deck, and things are going to go completely nuclear. Things are going to be insane because you can cast anything with that 5 mana, which means people start taking notice of Timeless Lotus. Sales have started to rise, and people are wondering just how far the Leyline of mutation is going to work as a card, as it's only a rare. So there's a lot going on with that card as well. Keep that stuff in mind, guys. These are cards people are looking at, they're considering, and they're wondering just how it's going to work not only for Commander, but also for Standard, and how many big beasties and crazy things they can cast because they would only have to pay 5 mana. And there's lots of ways of getting Timeless Lotus onto the battlefield a little bit faster. We got like the banner and stuff. We got other cards that give us a little bit of extra mana, and we've got ways of tapping tokens for mana. So be ready for this, because I understand the FOMO event people are feeling, but these cards are all going to be around. And interest waxes and wanes when players feel the desire strike them. Don't fall for it. Sit back and relax. You've got time. You don't have to do nothing right now. It is absolutely okay. Now it's time in the video to discuss what's going on with Lord of the Rings. Guys, take a look at this. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is taken from TCG Player, and these are sales of the special edition collector box, okay? Now, you can see here the sale prices. You can see which ones are selling. I stopped at just one page. We didn't need to see multiple pages. But, yeah, it looks like this box, if you were buying it in Canada, would be like $1,000 plus. And the only ones for sale now are basically $1,000. So, this box has basically sold out. There's still people flipping things back and forth, trying to jack up the price. And I definitely have an opinion on this. But before I get to my opinion and talk about what's going on, yes, even locally, this has been sold out for quite some time, and I've kept a really close eye to see if more was coming into local stores, and there's not, okay? It is gone. It is no longer available. So now we can discuss this. We can talk about what's actually happening on the market. You guys understand, and I hope you do, that all those extra collector boxes that were made for the special edition, it's not nearly as large of a quantity as the regular collector boxes. They weren't sure, Wizard of the Coast wasn't positive how many would sell, and at this point, we know that the amount that stores ordered was a lot less than the regular collector boxes. The allocation was tighter, money was tight, and they only got so much. So the market has absorbed it early. That's what's happened. It's been absorbed early. Instead of being 2 or 3 years from now, it absorbed faster than normal due to the low supply in the actual availability of this product. We also have those banner cards, the special ones that were selling in Spiked. Those things went nuclear as well, and we had tons of those selling out across the singles market, which of course jacked up prices. These poster card ones just went all through the roof for Lord of the Rings. And remember, Lord of the Rings has a larger player base than just Magic the Gathering. It has a fan base that stretches across like decades and decades. And a lot of them are alive, and a lot of them have money. And if they decide to spend $1,000 in a box, they're going to do it. Now, how does that affect us as players? Nothing. It means absolutely nothing to the average player. And really, I'm not even giving it a second thought, because it's not one of the products I need to have tons of. Yes, I have a few packs. Yes, I have a couple around just for myself to enjoy as a collector. But the idea that I would spend $1,000 for a box that could be reprinted if they wanted to means I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Not at $1,000. Not a chance, not ever. That doesn't mean that other collectors won't see the value, or at least try to see the value. And that doesn't mean you won't have speculators trying to pump you up into thinking that this is something that it's not. Long term, you have no idea what that box is going to do any more than I do. But statistics and stats tell me from all the other boxes we've seen, it will go stale, stagnant, and eventually slowly drift down in price. Even the Throne of Eldraine, the first original collector box, I can find for 460 bucks Canadian. They're around. Just because somebody bought them all up doesn't mean they opened them all. It doesn't mean we have a shy amount of supply hiding out there. No. They've just been absorbed. Somebody's controlling a larger stake, and somebody's trying to make some money off it. Be smart. Be aware. Don't fall for this stuff, guys. I want to know your comments. I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. And I hope you guys take the time to watch the whole video today to see what we're talking about. Because there's a lot going on right now in the world of Magic. These cards selling, all these jacked up prices and stuff, are not the norm on the market, nor should they be right now. The good money, the safe money, is the patience, waiting for things to drift down. None of these things have to be bought right away. Be smart, shop S-Mart. Yeah, I know, didn't work well. Doesn't matter, it's a great day today. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel. I hope you found the video fun and informative. If you enjoyed today's content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell. I put out new content every single day, and we're around 181 subscribers away from hitting 24,000. Thanks again for making it happen. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. If you find yourself here, watching, learning the names of all these patrons, just like I get to look at them every day and recognize how great it is to have supporters like this, yeah, this is something kind of crazy. So thanks again to my patrons. Thanks again to my supporters, guys. Without the patrons and YouTube membership members, videos like this would not be possible. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow with another video. I haven't even had a sip of my coffee. We gotta talk. So, all I can tell you guys, this is not a Magic-related conversation at all. This is an observation. When you're riding down the street in your car, and it's a red light, that's right, you stop. You stop at the red light. I stopped in my car, so did many other cars. But for some reason, this driver decided not to stop. They just ran into everyone. I'm lucky my car did not get touched, but about 10 cars did. They were on their cell phone. We need some major enforcement here in Canada to change this all around, but it's insane. 2 hands on the wheel. Pay attention to what's going on. No iPhone earbuds and stuff in. No. Pay attention. It's dangerous out there. Have a great one. Ramble jamble!